The Strawhats will willingly give themselves up in Elbaf and be captured and taken away from the island.
How? I don't know.
Well, I haven't told anybody this, but I ate a devil fruit recently. I ate the Oda no Mi, which allows me to think like Oda and figure out what he's actually going to write in the manga before he does it. You know, I just combine that fruit power with my already amazing observation haki, and I'm able to craft these theories. So, and before we get into that, I just want to thank everybody for all the support that they've given me. So make sure that you continue to do that. Support me on all 4 of my platforms. And now let's get into this theory. So at this point, we already know that the monster trio is down in the lower realm of Elbaf, and Luffy has already taken out Loki. Dealing with that and getting him all patched up is going to lead to some interesting situations. So we already know that Gunko already took down the Straw Hats. I mean, pretty easily, I might add. Even Jinbei got folded. But what I think is going to happen, I'm very hyped to see Robin versus Saint Summers, and I think that Robin, she needs to get a hockey bloom right about now. Even though I'm pretty sure that she's going to lose the fight and that it may get off screen, this would be the perfect time for Robin to have a hockey bloom. She didn't get one when she fought Black Maria, but if she gets one right now, it will make all the sense in the world. She got her dearest friend in the world who's about to get packed up by Saint Summers, and they burning books from O'Hara. You know your girl Robin about to get active. And Colin being kidnapped, that's definitely getting our guy Scopper Gaban into action. He's going to definitely show off some amazing hockey feats, but I feel like Robin is also going to get beat up too, and so is Chopper. All the Straw Hats besides Frankie and the Monster Trio will get taken by the God's Knights, because what they're going to do is say, hey, well, you know, we beat this crew and we really don't want to have problems with the Emperor Luffy, but his crew is kind of weak, and you know what, if we can depower an Emperor, that's going to make us look even better, and it's going to be even easier for us to win here in Elbaf, because now all we got is 3 or 4 people to really worry about. And so while I think Scopper is going to do his thing, he's going to be able to give the God's Knights a good fight, he's also an old man, so the stamina issue is going to come up. And with the Straw Hats in the situation that they're in, being captured, I think Nami is going to strike a deal and ask the God's Knights to take them as tribute instead of taking the kids, which will temporarily free Elbaf for the time being until Luffy and the others can find out what happens and take action. Now, I just want to remind you guys that this theory came out prior to chapter 1149 dropping. So what I think is going to happen with the kids is that the kids are going to fall off the cliff. They are going to send them off the cliff because the Elbaf giants aren't going to comply with burning the library in time. So the kids are all going to reasonably land on Loki's big fat stomach and be totally fine, because you got to remember, this is One Piece, so they don't be killing kids like that unless their name is Sabo, and even then he didn't really kill Sabo. He came back later in the story. So after they run out of kids, they're going to take Nami up on her offer, and they are going to get in contact with Shamrock. They're going to ask him if they can take the Straw Hat crew. And what's going to happen is they're going to reason, well, we got to come back with something. And taking 70% of an Emperor's crew is not nothing. And if we think about it, the God's Knights, they're not going to want to keep dealing with Scopper Gaban, and they want to get out of Elbaf way before Luffy and the Monster Trio find out what's going on. Shamrock is going to think about it, and he's going to say, well, in the grand scheme of things, I know that we have to deal with Nika at some point, and if we can take most of his crew away from him, then that'll make it so much easier for us to topple him later down the road. And if you really think about it, maybe even Shamrock is aware of who Imu is, and he may know that Imu wants to get Nika and his whole crew off the game board, really knocking off the most important chess piece that could stand in the way of Imu's dastardly plan. And of course, that's going to make Imu very happy, because if they can manage to squash the Monster Trio, that's basically 2 problems solved with 1 stone. So they're going to take the Straw Hats, and they're going to also take Bonnie as well, because Bonnie is going to get up here and fight, and she's going to show off her Sun God Nika transformation, but and Gunko is going to see that and get very afraid, but she's going to run out of steam, and when she runs out of steam, she's going to get tied up as well and be taken along with the Straw Hats, and she's going to be delivered to Marijwa, while the rest of the Straw Hats are brought to Impel Down, which I think is gonna end up in a training arc, because when when we look at the Straw Hats, they need something more. They're not as powerful as they should be. And when it comes to Jinbei being on the boat, I think he's going to somehow escape and swim back to the island to let Luffy and the others know that the rest of the crew was taken by the God's Knights, which of course is going to make Luffy super duper angry. But now, when it comes to the rest of the crew, they'll be brought to Impel Down. They're going to have to deal with Magellan. They're going to cause an outbreak. I think that as far as leveling up, God Usopp, he's going to level up his observation haki, and he's going to actually have all three forms of haki. He's going to get armament, and he's going to get at least a weak version of Conqueror's haki. I think that Nami's going to level up her observation haki, and that she's going to have armament haki. I think Robin's going to get armament haki. I also think that Chopper's going to get armament and observation haki, because that'll help him in his medical skills with the observation haki and armament. Even though he has like 78 different forms, they really ain't putting in work. He did barely nothing to Queen, so he's going to need some armament haki. And then Brook, he's also going to need to awaken his armament haki, as well as having some type of devil fruit awakening. I think that would suit him perfectly. And those are the Straw Hat power-ups that I would like to see. Of course, that will help them to survive whatever Magellan has planned for them when they get to Impel Down. And I think they're going to partner up with Bon Clay. He's going to end up joining the crew by the end of that little mini arc. And that's going to result in Doflamingo being freed and joining up with Cross Guild. And what happens next is you're going to interact with all those buttons on your screen. You're going to show me some love on all of my platforms. So at this time, you may be wondering, well, why didn't Luffy and Sanji and Zoro come up right when Loki is being bandaged up by Gerd? I think that a rainbow beam is going to hit them, like the Bifrost from Thor comics, and it's going to bring them up to the sky realm of the tree. I think they're going to be summoned into some type of heavenly pantheon court, standing trial in front of the leader of the actual heavenly realm. What is going to end up happening is that they're going to use some type of cloud technology or technology or power that is only used in that sky realm, and it's gonna, bind up Luffy and the monster trio and all the warriors and Loki, and they're gonna be transported to prison cell of some kind. They're gonna look over when they're in the cell, and they're gonna see that someone else is there. Mad Monk Arouge. Now, to find out what happens with the crew at this time, make sure that you interact with those buttons. Make sure that you show me love on all 4 of my platforms, because I only have more theories for you. This theory is not even over. We're not even halfway done.